The cooking oils in your kitchen might be silently killing you. For decades, we've been told that vegetable oils are healthy alternatives to saturated fats. Doctors recommended them, and food companies still market them as heart-friendly. But many of these so-called healthy oils flood your body with inflammatory compounds, significantly increasing your risk for diabetes, heart disease, and even cancer. What if one simple kitchen swap could dramatically improve your health and quality of life? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which oils deserve a place in your kitchen and which ones to toss out immediately. This might be one of the easiest yet most profound changes you'll ever make to your diet. Let's start with the oils you should reconsider using. First up, canola oil. Canola oil is marketed as heart healthy because it's low in saturated fat and high in monounsaturated fat. You've probably seen those heart healthy claims on the label. Monounsaturated fats can indeed be beneficial, but the problem lies in how most canola oil is produced. It typically undergoes significant processing, which destroys any benefit. Manufacturers use chemical solvents like hexane to extract the oil, and this heavy processing can destabilize the oil itself. And unless you're specifically buying certified organic canola oil, it's very likely to contain residues of glyphosate, the active ingredient in many common herbicides. Glyphosate is classified as probable carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. In fact, in a 2019 study, there was a highlighted 41% increased risk of non-Hodgkin lymphoma in people with high exposure to glyphosate-based herbicides. Beyond cancer, research suggests canola oil might contribute to high blood pressure too. So just stay away from canola. Next on our caution list, soybean oil. Soybean oil is absolutely everywhere in our food system, and it's the most popular home cooking oil around the world. Why is it so popular? It has a mild flavor, so it doesn't overpower foods. It also has a high smoke point, making it useful for various cooking methods. And perhaps most importantly for big food manufacturers, it's cheap. Unfortunately, soybean oil is very high in omega-6 fatty acids. We need omega-6s, but we also need omega-3s, and the balance between them is crucial. The generally recommended balance is somewhere between a 2-to-1 and a 4-to-1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. Soybean oil is around a 7-to-1. That's way too much for you, and it's going to trigger inflammation. Another issue, about half of soybean oil is linoleic acid. It's a type of polyunsaturated fat, which sounds good, but it's quite prone to oxidation. When these fats oxidize, they become unstable, like rust on metal. Eat too much, and it's going to harden your arteries, skyrocketing your risk for heart attack. A 2020 report from the University of California also linked soybean oil to diabetes and fatty liver disease. Avoid using it at home and be aware it's used heavily in fast food and many processed foods. After soybean oil, let's talk about corn, safflower, and sunflower oils, what I call omega-6 bombs. If soybean oil's ratio was bad, these are even worse. Corn oil can be up to 46-to-1 omega-6 to omega-3. Safflower and sunflower oils can reach 70-to-1. That's extreme, massive inflammation potential. Like soybean oil, they're high in polyunsaturated fats, making them very unstable. They're susceptible to damage from light, heat, and oxygen, exactly what they encounter during processing, storage, and cooking. When they get oxidized, they create harmful free radicals and lipid peroxides, which can interfere with cell membranes and damage your LDL cholesterol. Speaking of LDL cholesterol, the one which is commonly called bad cholesterol, well, our understanding has actually shifted. The real danger often lies in LDL particles becoming oxidized or damaged. That's what really contributes to the plaque buildup. It's less about the total amount of LDL in your system and more about whether it's been damaged. Quality, not quantity. Studies connect high intake of corn, safflower, and sunflower oils with increased rates of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and fatty liver disease. Now, I'm talking about polyunsaturated fat here. And you might be thinking, hold on, I thought polyunsaturated fats are actually good for me. Yes, that is true. It's important to distinguish these refined oils from the fats in the whole foods. When you eat a whole sunflower seed, the polyunsaturated fats come packaged with fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, right? Well, these other natural ingredients protect the fats from oxidation. But when you isolate the oil, you lose that natural protection. Then the oil undergoes processing, heat, chemicals, deodorizing, all stages where oxidation happens before it even hits your frying pan. And before we get into the healthier oils, let's discuss the worst offender. That's right, trans fats. You might also know them as partially hydrogenated vegetable oils. You'll find these nasty little guys hiding in stuff like margarine, blocks of vegetable shortening, and packaged baked goods. Here's the thing, they rarely slap "contains trans fats" on the front label. You've got to flip that package over and check the ingredients. When you see partially hydrogenated oil, that's code for trans fats. What they're doing is basically forcing hydrogen into vegetable oil under pressure to make it solid at room temperature so it lasts forever on shelves. Sure, it makes your cookies stay fresh for months, but your arteries, they're gonna pay the price. These oils are basically heart attacks waiting to happen. And even a tiny amount is bad news. Get this, researchers found that bumping up your calories from trans fats by just 2% increases your heart disease risk by a whopping 23%. That's not a typo, 23% from such a small change. Labeling laws can be tricky. If the label on something like nut butter says trans fat free, that might actually mean free of trans fat. That's because in many countries, producers can claim something is trans fat free if the suggested serving size contains less than 0.5 grams. Crazy, and something that you really need to be aware of. Be a label detective. Look for partially hydrogenated oils, or vegetable shortening on ingredient lists regarding the front label claims. These aren't just in margarine. They're in commercial baked goods, cookies, cakes, pastries, frozen pizza, microwave popcorn, coffee creamers, frozen dinners, crackers, chips, sauces, salad dressings, processed nut spreads, and fast food. Basically, if it's not a natural whole food, check the label for trans fats. Okay, let's talk about the good stuff now. First up is olive oil. This is the rock star of healthy oils for a good reason. When you're shopping, you'll see three main types: refined, virgin, and extra virgin. Extra virgin olive oil is the gold standard. That's because it's basically just olive juice that's been pressed out of the fruit. No chemical processing, no high heat treatment, just cold pressed goodness with all the healthy compounds intact. It's packed with this stuff called oleic acid, a type of fat that makes up about 73% of the oil. Your heart loves this stuff because it helps dampen inflammation throughout your body. It's also loaded with antioxidants. Think of these as the little bodyguards that protect your cells from damage. They support your immune system and shield you from all that oxidative stress that ages you faster. Now, here's something to keep in mind. Extra virgin olive oil doesn't love super high heat. Its smoke point is around 375 degrees Fahrenheit, which is fine for most cooking, but not great for deep frying. When oil starts smoking, that's when the good stuff breaks down and the bad stuff forms. So save your fancy extra virgin olive oil for things like salad dressings, drizzling on finished dishes, or a light sautéing. Need something for a higher heat? Regular refined olive oil works better there, with a smoke point around 430 degrees Fahrenheit. And don't freak out about the word refined here. Unlike those other refined oils that we trashed earlier, olive oil is mostly monounsaturated fat, which is way more stable. Even after refining, it keeps most of its good stuff and doesn't go rancid nearly as easily as refined corn or soybean oil. Let's talk about coconut oil next. This one's been super controversial. It's high in saturated fat, and for forever, we've been told that saturated fat clogs arteries and gives you heart attacks. But here's where things get interesting. That old theory about saturated fat is getting a major update. As we discussed earlier, scientists now realize it's not about saturated fat, how much LDL cholesterol you have, it's about whether it's damaged. So where does coconut oil fit into this new picture? A study from 2017 found something really cool. Coconut oil tends to make your LDL particles bigger. And bigger, fluffier LDL particles are actually less likely to stick to your artery walls because they don't oxidize as easily. So coconut oil might actually change the type of cholesterol you have, not just the numbers on your lab report. Plus, it consistently raises HDL. That's your good cholesterol that actually helps clean out your arteries. Coconut oil has other perks too. It contains lauric acid, which has this amazing ability to fight bacteria, viruses, and fungi. Now for my personal favorite, avocado oil. If I could only keep one oil in my kitchen, this would probably be it. Why? Because it's incredibly stable, which makes it perfect for pretty much any kind of cooking. It has a crazy high smoke point of around 480 degrees Fahrenheit. That's way higher than olive or coconut oil. You can sauté with it, roast with it, fry with it, you name it. Its fat profile is similar to olive oil, about 70% monounsaturated fat, plus it has about 12% saturated fat, which adds extra stability. It's loaded with vitamin E and this thing called lutein, which helps the oil stand up to heat without breaking down. There's also evidence that it can help with joint pain, especially if you have osteoarthritis. So here's the bottom line. Swap out those inflammatory industrial oils, your canola, soy, corn, safflower, and sunflower oils, for high quality olive oil, coconut, and avocado oil. This simple change is one of the most powerful things you can do for your health. If you found this useful, click like and subscribe to see more from us in the future. And next, you might like to watch our video on 10 amazing anti-diabetic drinks. Click the image on the screen for that one.